PQQ is a great subject because you could go on about this for a long time, but to make it simple, back in late 90s, early 2000s, I was reading about coenzyme Q10, which everybody knows about, more or less, and I saw this other quinone, which is PQQ, Pyrroloquinoline Quinone. Mostly you get it from dietary sources, but it hovers in the mitochondria, and it regulates this master hormone or regulating protein coming from the nucleus of the cell that upregulates your ability to scavenge free radicals. In other words, it is like the stimulus behind all of your cellular antioxidant machinery. And so if you want to protect your cell from free radicals, which is the secondary effect after cell damage, you have inflammation, then you have the release of free radicals. You got to scavenge that to stop the damage. But in this case, it also increases the energy of the cell, kind of like CoQ10. So it juggles these electrons around in all the little mitochondrial motors so that those motors can start generating more cellular energy. So the more energy you make in a cell, the more it's going to do its job. But PQQ has some other really neat things that work for me. We know from a lot of studies that it blocks the damage of cells in Parkinson's. It blocks the beta amyloid damage in Alzheimer's. And we think it does it by this antioxidant master regulator that it stimulates in the nucleus of the cell. And it protects from Lewy body dementia, which some people don't know anything about, but the people who have it definitely know what it is. And after a stroke, or after a concussion, or after a traumatic brain injury, you have this massive release of inflammation and free radicals, and it seems to be neuroprotective in the studies on PQQ and brain damage and brain injury. But three more things I thought were really interesting. In addition to its protecting these cells and rescuing these hippocampal memory cells in Alzheimer's patients, inhibiting the beta amyloid. But the three other things it does is it binds up neurotoxins in your head. So let's say you have a stroke and there's cellular damage. The damaged cells will release these neurotoxins called glutamate, aspartate, and then they start killing off more cells. Well, it turns out that PQQ blocks that. So it binds up those neurotoxins. So we don't even know how it does that, but it seems like it impairs the ability of the damaged cells to release these neurotoxins or blocks the receptors of the neurotoxins on the healthy cells. We don't really know. Very important in strokes and brain injuries and concussions. So that's why I was interested in PQQ. The other things the second thing it does that nobody even really knows much about, it causes the astrocytes, which are these helper cells in the brain, to make nerve growth factor. So not only are we stopping damage with PQQ, but we're stimulating new growth. Nerve growth factor, brain-derived neurotrophic factor, all of those things get upregulated by PQQ. So I want to stop the damage. I want to increase the ability of the brain to repair itself. And finally, back to this mitochondria thing, I think that's one of the most interesting aspects of it is just like CoQ10, we need it to help the mitochondria pump out energy. And the more mitochondria we have, the more energy that cell can make. And it turns out that PQQ causes, together with CoQ10, vitamin K2, vitamin D, and acetylcarnitine, it has a biogenesis of mitochondria. It makes new mitochondria. In my neuro protocol, I use all of that to generate new cells, to crank up the output of the regenerative process and scavenge the damaged cells. And that's what I use PQQ for.